meeting together. Mr. Tressler, why don't you lead us in the pledge? Yeah, one-on-one, yeah, yep. Couple up there. Okay, you want to go through the minutes? I went through them. There was one thing that Rick asked I didn't understand either.
Okay, I checked on that, and it's under the animal shelter director's salary. It speaks of the increased request, but then on the conclusion in the minutes, it says the salary increase request remains under consideration. But after we were talked about this with Jeremy, I made the motion to approve it. Deanna made the motion, or seconded the motion, and it was approved. So there's still some question, I think, with some job description or Erwin Shealy or something that you had talked about.
Well, Wagner Irwin Shealy was looking at all of the salaries for the shelter for us, so
But
that's
this-
still under discussion.
This has been approved.
I thought it was.
Yeah, we went back and listened to it. and
Okay,
It was,
so-
the motion was made,
That'll be corrected.
yes.
Okay. Any other corrections? Anybody see anything? Not, I'll entertain a motion with a correction.
So moved.
Rick makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Bill seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's move right on. Josh Tressler.
Good morning.
Morning.
Just wanted to come and speak with you this morning about an additional purchase request that I'm bringing before you. I'll be honest, I'm being a little bit vague in just the name of the device and the company, just for cybersecurity reasons. We try not to air that out fully publicly, all of the details. Back in 2021, we purchased basically new core networking for the city and the county. It runs all of our internet access, all of our cybersecurity, all the way down to blocking within our budget that we pay for through a lease, and then we utilize that money in subsequent years for support and then start replacement of other projects. The issue I'm running into right now is, as you probably know, the last year, computer servers, parts, anything that has memory in it and things like that have increased exponentially. For example, one of the devices at the community building that we had put into the budget for the project, we went to actually go and purchase it at the right time, and it was double the cost. So we're trying to move things around and do things as best I can within the budget. The other thing that kind of hurts us is our lease and our cycle for all of that is all in July. So I'm splitting the year on equipment and renewal and maintenance. So right now I'm trying to get quotes on all of this to put into next year's budget, but I'll be honest, I'm not going to feel super confident in setting that. So my request today is to ask if we can get an additional to go ahead and purchase this device. It's supposed to be a next year replacement now. This would be a 50-50 city-county split. The total purchase price is $44,902. So that would make the city and county portion each $22,451 each. That does include 3 years of our advanced replacement. With this being such a high critical device, it's actually 2, one in each of our city and county core locations. And this also provides us with next day, they ship us a replacement. We don't have to troubleshoot and wait and ship the other one back. This also includes 3 years of the maintenance and the contract. The way this equipment works is every hour throughout the day, it's talking with the security vendor and updating for real-time threats. So this is a very critical piece for us. Like I said, the issue with the replacement now is just our growth in internet usage, our cloud-based body cams, our cloud-based court system, all of our Microsoft Teams synchronization, everything is using sessions, keeping us connected online. I will be fully transparent. There is a cheaper option, but in working with the vendor 2 weeks ago to try to nail this down, that option, just based on the last 3 years of growth for us, would put us probably at 3 years replacing this again. Realistically, we should be trying to target 5. Budget-wise, that's been the intent through all of this. One of the other things with the kind of middle of the road device, I'll just tell you, it gives us 2 or 3 times our capacity in certain areas and 4 times in others. The device we're looking at here is 6 to 7 times capacity and then 11 times capacity in the other. So I do think this is the best long-term option for us. This also, and the reason for the time crunch, we were short a day to even get this advertised to actually ask for the money this meeting. They have a scheduled second price increase of the year next week. So I held off and had them do a temporary quote, waited, that's valid through tomorrow. I said I just obviously need the opportunity to come and ask for the money. One of the other portions of that, it's roughly going to be about $2,000 past, if we wait. The other thing is I just paid the year renewal for the piece of equipment we have now. And I said, and I brought that up to them. I said, hey, we weren't in a position to replace it before that. Again, it's just the timing of our maintenance cycles and our lease and everything is May and July throughout the year. They were able to discount next year's maintenance. So within this price actually is a discounted year of maintenance to basically use the money I've already spent this year for it. So again, I apologize. We've really tried to stick within, I know one of the big things when this department was formed was trying to set a consistent budget and replacement cycle and everything, but this is something that's just kind of pulled forward a year sooner.
How long will this last?
My intent would still be to put it on a 5-year cycle. Again, clearly, we thought we were close, and we are really close. What the other kind of thing that's really held me back from stretching it through next year is just the increase in traffic, but also our increase in cybersecurity requirements. We could get by another year, but there are certain parts of the system I would have to turn off for capacity, and those are things that we can't turn off for security reasons. Our new cybersecurity policy, I'm working through with the city and the county, do this every spring, what our requirements are, what we have to do. We have federal standards on the dispatch and police side that we have to meet. Still in the middle of our 18-month audit with the IRS for child support, and the clerk upstairs and the requirements for that have just exponentially increased the things we have to secure and things we have to do on the network.
Does it need to be advertised?
Yes, it has been,
What do you
so
need,
it'll
Jill?
be.
It has
for the
been?
Next one, yes.
Be up for the next
August
one?
Or July.
Yeah.
Well, you just need a gentleman's agreement to,
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the timing of it right now, it would probably be 30 days before you would receive it, and then 30-day invoice from receipt. So timing-wise, financial, obviously, this is one of those things that, we have something fail and we need to replace it. We're getting to that point, and I wanted to come to you now, especially with the known price increase, and just trying to get this taken care of before it's an issue.
The total cost was what again?
$44,902.
ours would be 22.
Which the county be half of that.
Half.
You went to the city yet?
I have not. That'll be July. If I have a signed agreement, purchase agreement today, well, tomorrow, yes, that's at least what they're able to tell me now. We're working through the same thing. Dell, we've had price increases. Our standard machine that we purchase for everybody, unless they need a custom configuration, we're like $683, and they're now $1,100. The laptops that were $1,100 are now $2,000.
Isn't some of that related to chips and the tariffs?
Yes, and this is the same, this device, because of the real-time scanning and security, literally every packet that goes through every computer to the internet, that thing's looking at real-time RAM and processors. So I don't want to be, doomsday and say, gosh, it could be 20 grand more. And I don't mean that trying to force anybody's opinion. That's just been the consistent issue we're running into. And like I started off with, I'm struggling with trying to budget for next year. I was really hoping we would be able to keep it flat, but I already can tell that we're not going to be able to.
You need a motion and a second so we can sign the purchase agreement.
I'll make that motion.
Deanna makes a motion. Kenny seconds. Any other questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
Thank you very much.
yes, sir. Okay, Mr. Paisel?
All right, so I asked to be put on your agenda today because we posted for the highway superintendent position, and I am coming for authorization to have that position salary range be between $60,000 and $70,925. When you go back and look at the Wagner, Irwin, Shealy salary study, their low is actually $63,832. The mid is $70,925, which was the high number that I was asking for. The number that I guess Patty had gotten that is actually higher than that at this point. It's not the official number yet that's going to be given to you guys to adopt if you choose to adopt it, but it is a higher number than that at this point. When you look at the total cost there with FICA, PERF, the benefits, you're looking at $84,295 if you get up to the $70,925 salary. So we had posted that 2 weeks ago. It has another 2 weeks, I believe, on the posting. I talked to Patty right before we started today. So far, we have 0 applications.
So these salaries, are they including perf on other, like the 60,000?
No, I gave you the high water mark, the 70,925. That gets up to 84,000.
Yeah, but that's with perf and
Yes.
insurance.
That's
Are the other salaries with benefits?
That 84 and 295 be with benefits.
With benefits, but I'm talking about the other ones, the low and the high. Are those with
No,
benefits?
I gave you the highest mark, Bill.
Okay.
I
Yep.
think it's 60, almost 64,000 now is what we're
63
paying.
something, yeah.
So the FICA itself on the 70,925 is 5,426. The PERF is $7,944.
So you're asking for this bump up because so far we have 0 applicants.
I think that what we have seen over the last several years, when you look from communications, EMA, parks, animal shelter, almost every director position that we have hired, at some point, the commissioners have had to come to you to ask for an increase in salary. That has been the consistency. And since we still have time left on the posting, I wanted to get ahead of it to give us some leeway or some ability once we actually get applications in and we get into the interviewing process. That way we can evaluate the credentials, the quality of the candidates that we get in, and we can determine where they fall in that price range. Obviously, there was a little snafu the last time I was up here on the animal shelter, and so I wanted to get ahead of that before we got to that same position.
What do you have it advertised at?
It's 60 to 70 right now.
And it's just a highway superintendent.
It is just a superintendent. Correct.
It's not-
It is not an engineer. Yep. And so I had looked at the engineer side of this because obviously, I mean, we have talked about that in the past. When I was looking at it, for a civil engineer, the starting salaries that I was seeing was in the 120 range. A lot of them, there were some that were out there for 115, some that were out there for higher than that. The state statute for the civil engineer, it's 81751. So what it requires is that the full-time county highway engineer is responsible for supervising the design, construction, planning, traffic, and other engineering functions of the county highway department. The engineer shall prepare all required surveys, estimates, plans, and specifications. So if we go down the route where we can get the additional 40,000 from the state, and we have these set statutory requirements for the highway superintendent, are we then going to have to increase the salary for the assistant superintendent who will actually be running the highway department? I don't see that the highway engineer would be able to do all of the statutory requirements and actually supervise the highway department. I also don't see that we would be able to eliminate the hiring or the engagement of engineering firms as a whole. We will still be required to engage, whether it's a USI or a United, on different projects, because the amount of time that it takes to get in and actually design a bridge or a road is going to be substantially more than what our highway department superintendent would be able to do and still maintain the function and the supervision of the highway department. So based on what I was seeing, supervisors at the highway department giving more duties, more responsibilities to the assistant superintendent and also to your other shift leads, and you'd then have to be increasing salaries elsewhere. Also, I know when the city had posted a similar position several years ago, they had posted it for $110,000. They didn't get a single applicant. So all of that put together, I think when you're looking at a cost savings point of view here, I think the cost savings is actually to continue the way that we are now. I'd love to have an engineer in-house to be able to do a lot of the work, but I don't think at the end of the day, for the budget that we have, for the size of the county that we have, that it's probably the best or most efficient way going forward.
Do you know now what we pay an engineering firm to do that?
I don't have that number. No, I don't have that number, Bill.
Interesting to see, like, in a year's time.
Yep.
What
Yeah.
Yeah,
That way
What
you
you,
can
what could be
justify.
saved.
sure, absolutely. Yep, but no, I don't have that number with me. And I don't see Tim. I know that'd be an off-the-cuff number, but it'd give us an idea.
Yeah,
I mean, an idea is better than what I'm giving you right now. So,
In order to get that $40,000 reimbursement, that person has to be hired in as the county engineer.
yeah, so also the statute requires that they are a registered professional engineer that is experienced in highway engineering and construction. So I guess I haven't read the interpretation of what exactly experienced means. Does that mean that they have prior work in the field of engineering roads and bridges and all of that, or does it just mean that they graduated from Purdue with some type of civil engineering degree? I don't.
You hired him in as the superintendent of the highway department with engineering experience and background, would you be able to get the reimbursement with that?
Yeah, there is a caveat here, and I haven't looked through enough of it, because there are certain situations in which you're only eligible for 20,000 instead of 40,000. And so you have to get a certification from the state, I'm presuming from NDOT, on that approval to actually get the full 40. But their duties are those that I had read earlier on the actual engineering side of it.
Well, let's face it, if we're offering on the low end, we're going to get the least experienced engineers applying.
That's right.
but if we're paying an engineering firm $200,000 or $300,000, we can afford to pay more.
Well, I was just wondering if we hired him in as the superintendent with engineering experience, they could oversee the engineering side and help, not necessarily do all the work, but there would be some things they could do that would help offset the cost. But I don't know how that works as far as,
I just wondered whether our counties, that's got one, how much savings it does
yeah,
save
see
them to
what the
have an
requirements are,
engineer.
get the reimbursement.
If it saves them 150, 200,000 a year, having an engineer, it helps pay for himself.
They have to be, Kenny, to that point, they have to be hired in as an engineer. It can't be somebody that has engineering experience. They have to be a registered engineer. They have to be hired
And
in.
there's two sections of that
Yeah.
too, and there's the civil engineering of it, and then you're like an apprentice engineer, which I think you can get 20,000 for one of them or something like that, if I read it right, or
Sure.
there's two different degrees there. one's 40, one's 20.
I'm not sure on the apprentice side of it, but
Have we looked at other counties that have that position?
I know that there are other counties. Bartholomew is the closest one that has it. I mean, you're looking at a substantially different budget there.
Yeah.
A substantially larger highway department with a much larger tax base than what we have.
So do they have a specific engineer plus a superintendent?
They have a highway department superintendent, and then they have assistants.
Okay, but they, and he does he's the engineer also?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the only ones I know of that actually do that, I think.
So I was looking at this,
Engineers.
and
Looks like there's about 30 to 40 counties in the
Is there in the
state, and it
state?
said what it said.
what I was looking at, when you look at counties that are our size, there were very few of them that actually had this. They are all substantially larger counties. I think that there's a reason for that at the end of the day. And I think there's a reason for that. When you're looking at places the size of Bartholomew, Johnson County, and those kinds of places, that there's a reason that they can afford to have a highway department superintendent that's an engineer.
Yeah, you have to look at same size counties. I mean, we can't do something a bigger county's able to do with a bigger budget, but somebody else our size that has done it,
Mm-hmm.
like to see what their take is on it, if there is any. Maybe, say you got 2 more weeks left on the posting, if the posting runs out, we can repost it.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and I mean, like with the animal shelter, we had received some applicants initially, and then it was reposted after that. Yep.
I think I'd like to see some research done on some other counties, just to see.
I would too.
It may not
Okay.
be anything, but I'd like to see if there is anybody that has done it,
Sure.
if they saved any money, maybe they didn't, I don't know, but,
See what the numbers are and
yeah.
what goes on. I'd like to,
Obviously, we're gonna have to do something, because we're gonna get somebody hired, but I
Yep.
think I'd like to look at that first before we move on to decide what we're gonna do.
Sounds good. Yep. One other thing that came up in our meeting yesterday, that while I'm here at the podium, I might as well address it. So there have been some issues that have come up with out-of-state conference travel for different departments here with the county. And so we put that on our agenda to talk about per diems and the way that costs are incurred for our employees that are traveling to different conferences. So the per diem has been set for employees at $40 a day. And some of the employees were using the county credit cards to pay for their meals. And the $40 a day has been the same amount for an extended period of time. And it also, they weren't allowed to use or to have tips on their bills as well for the food. So we discussed yesterday at our meeting of increasing the per diem to $60 a day, but requiring receipts. They won't get an advance for the amount. So if you're gone at a 3-day conference, you don't get $180 up front to spend. You get $180 for your 3-day conference, $60 per day, but you have to bring the receipts back in to actually be reimbursed. We also would like to be able to include a 15% tip. I think that's pretty standard at this point. And then no county credit card being used for the purchase of food or anything like that. When you're out there, you pay for it and then you get reimbursed by the county. Some of the discussion was revolving around that upfront payment. The scenario that I had used was you're out there for a multi-day conference and you go to the grocery and you buy some cheap lunch meat and 1 loaf of bread and you pocket $160 out of the $180 or $200 some dollars that you get, when the county only really should have incurred a very small amount. Will that be the scenario that we see if we're actually looking at $60 a day and you have to get receipts? No. But that way we can make sure that the money is actually being spent appropriately when we're getting the receipts back. We can ensure that adult beverages or other things that aren't appropriate use of county funds are being sent back through those receipts. So my recommendation to this group is that we increase the per diem to $60 a day, that we allow the 15% tip, that we also do not allow the county credit card to be used, and that we do require those receipts afterwards.
How much, well, conferences I go to, I never bought a meal all the time we was there.
That was the discussion that we also
I
had.
mean,
'Cause
go.
I know.
We go to AIC conference, I don't, if I want a beer, I go buy a beer. If I
Yeah,
drink
that was
one.
the discussion that I had
I
because
can't extend that
every
program. I mean,
every conference that I've ever been to
dinner.
was the same way.
Dinner, yeah.
And so we had opened it up to, other department heads that were in the room yesterday morning. And we heard from multiple department heads, including from the sheriff's department, that a lot of their trainings being out of state, a number of them don't actually supply breakfast or lunch. And so it is a concern, and for that reason, we believe that going up to 60 was probably appropriate when you look at what costs are doing everywhere, especially because a lot of these trainings are in larger cities, bigger metropolises, and so you're looking at places where the cost is higher as it is. But yes, I agree. Every single conference that I've been to has breakfast and lunch.
I may not like what they got, but I'll eat it.
That is very true.
You know, I mean,
Tacos.
go to a food truck or something.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah.
And we also said that when you're looking at possible trainings, preference needs to be given to the closest proximity similar training instead of just, finding one and then Hawaii that looks really awesome instead of going to Terre Haute for one. I've been to Terre Haute for a training, so I'm not bashing it, but I've been there. And so, that giving closest preference. I didn't want to say just the state of Indiana, because if you have a training in Michigan City or you have a training in Cincinnati, we'd prefer you go to Cincinnati because it's substantially closer. But the closest proximity training available in that same area is what we should be giving preference to.
I don't have any problem raising it to 60 as long as we have guidelines and restrictions on it.
We need a motion.
You got receipts and
Yeah, receipts was the big thing. While I was sitting here this morning on my work phone, I got an email from our auditor's office that said, please, please, please read. You need receipts under this policy. That came out from my work as well.
Itemized receipt.
Itemized receipts, specifically itemized receipts. Yes, they said restaurants can give you itemized receipts for what you had, not just your grand total of what it was put on your credit card or whatever.
I'll need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Kenny makes a motion.
I'll second it.
Bill seconds. Any other discussion? Just try to eat everything you can at the motels.
Stay out of the refrigerator.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
All right, thanks, guys. I'll get back to you then in your July meeting. All right, thank you.
Okay, I've got riverboat request from United Fund.
I'll maybe throw in on that, Danny, if I can. In the minutes, it was stated that we had discussed the opportunity that as we get close to budget time, we've had, you guys have had, more so than me, a lot of the folks that get funding from the United Fund get funding from the riverboat. So at our last meeting, I think we talked about looking into that a little farther and trying to figure out who currently receives funds from the United Fund and who gets them from the budget. And then maybe separating or having a discussion about some of the funding remaining with council to do those that are not funded by the United Fund. But Joanne Cunningham is here today. Joanne, would you introduce the young lady that came with you today. Maybe we all don't know who that is.
Yes, I'm Joanne Cunningham. I'm actually the outgoing Executive Director for United Fund, July 1st. I think I have 12 days left. Woo-hoo! So yes, but I also have with me today Blair Hornberger. She's been at the United Fund since May 4th, has hit the ground running, and is doing an amazing job. Actually has more connections in the community than we even realized when we hired her. So things are going very, very well. Rick and I have had this conversation for many years. We've talked about the riverboat funding and what that looks like. I think from the United Fund's perspective, we have an amazing vetting process. We also expect measurable outcomes and the impact that it creates in the community as well. And I think as good stewards of dollars, I think that's what we have demonstrated to the community, that that's what we're about. No matter who we fund and why we fund them, it is really the impact that they make in the community and having measurable impact. So we've considered that. I actually happened to see over the weekend that we were on the agenda for today and didn't realize that. So we are here today just to kind of see. I have no idea how about the amount of money. I have no idea what we're really kind of talking about, but it is definitely a conversation the United Fund, like I said, we've talked about it for years, and I would love to be able to see something happen with that, because I do think we would be the good stewards of dollars for that. And I think the oversight that we have in the vetting process would help immensely for the community and the council.
Each of you have at your place a little handout that the United Fund has put together. On it lists all of the 15.
And Rick, those are what was funded in 2025. 2026 have received their letters of intent. As a United Fund work, we always campaign in the fall, and then that funding is distributed the following year. So these are the ones that are funded currently in 2026. That's who we campaigned on behalf, and they are receiving the funding in 2026 this year.
And just for you guys that have never had the opportunity to be on the United Fund board, I had the good fortune many years ago to do that. And when Joanne talks about vetting of the people that they work with, every year you get a stack of paper about that tall that tells in detail what these organizations do and how they go about the process. And then the board pores over that and really takes it seriously to make sure that these dollars that the United Fund gets from the community are well spent. So
And for council's information too, our Community Investment Committee is comprised of a few current board members, any new board member coming on, so that is different each year because we have new members each year, and then also 2 to 3 community-at-large individuals. So every year it is composed of different community individuals with that oversight. And then obviously that recommendation goes to the full United Fund board for approval. So there is a definite vetting and strategic process that goes through. But the committee each year and those individuals and eyes looking at these applications are actually different each year, which I think is a great thing because it brings a different perspective and different questions and insight to why we fund and who we're funding.
I don't know, Christie, if this got looked into, but we give riverboat money to the fairgrounds too, or 4-H council?
4-H council.
Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of
So if there's any, so that would be one of them that needs to get carved out of that amount.
I think you use 501c3.
We do. Our bylaws state that we must fund 501c3s. So, and part of that is to hold a standard to them as well and keeps them accountable to that 501c3 standard.
Riverboat money keeps going down every year.
Yeah, yeah.
It's getting less and less and less is what it's getting.
And I had heard that too from other counties in the south too.
I do,
I don't have any problem if it takes some pressure off us, but
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that 4-H gets there. I mean, 4-H
And I think
is-
for us as executive directors, we would have to go back to the board and see what that looks like.
4-H
Because that
is near and
standard
dear
has
to
been
my
set for us
Belly's
for
heart.
quite some
I mean,
time.
Billy will tell you that.
well, and I think what they're thinking is they would just set aside a portion of it before it goes to you.
Yeah.
If-
Correct,
For the ones
correct.
that aren't a 501.
Yes, and that would be fine too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've always inquired about the process. I was just curious, you know,
Well, we usually just took it and divided it. If we had
Right.
10 people,
Right.
divided it by 10.
but who selects who you divide it to?
Whoever comes and asks.
Whoever comes and asks,
How do you get an application?
they
They-
come, they
they
bring
come
us
and ask?
information. So they give us a budget, they
Okay.
show us a budget.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like they just come in and say, I need 10,000 to go.
So when is that open application, can I ask?
We usually start that in July.
Okay. Has that ever been advertised?
They know.
No, I'm saying there's a lot of other organizations that would probably come in and ask, is the reason I'm asking, so yes, yeah.
It's my opinion, I think, and only my opinion, that as we look at this during budget time, see what the dollars are and whatnot, it would make things simpler that, because I've sat here before when I was commissioner and before even, and entities would come in after the fact or really late in the process. We could just start Christie would say, this is going to the United Fund, you need to go to the United Fund to get that. It would, as you said, take that off our plate, and could verify it, maybe even better than what we could, so.
So the applications are in July. When does the money go out?
Well, we
Budget's
can go up to
adopted.
next year,
Yeah.
next year. And they get it half,
January
Next
1.
January.
6 months. They get one in January and they get one in June.
Okay.
But they have to submit a invoice before they can have it, correct?
We changed that a little bit just in our office because we noticed some people didn't know that process, and so we were noticing they still hadn't received any come the end of the year. So we sent out half to everybody last month, I'd say in June, and then we'll send out the other half in the fall.
Yeah, it's twice a year.
So if we went with you guys, so the funding would come from you, we would fund you, and then you would send the monies out? Is that how that would work, or does Christie still have to?
And Kenny, I'll be honest with you, we'll have to go to our board and see what that kind of looks like, because like I said, until I happened to see over the weekend that we were on the agenda for today, I wasn't real sure, and our board's not even aware that we're here today. So,
That's fine. I mean,
so, yeah,
now, is there a fee for you?
a fee for us?
I mean,
No,
you gonna
ours
charge
goes
us
into the
5% or
I'm,
something like that? I mean,
and
I
I'm
mean-
assuming it could be much, much higher compared to many of the salary figures that you guys hear here at the council. This is nonprofit work, so you have to be dedicated to that work in the community to be able to be in these type of positions, I do believe. And, a majority of our dollars go back out to the community. I think our admin cost is like at 8% per our auditors at Agresta. So our admin cost is very minimal overall for the budgeting that we are doing and distributing. But we're not like a foundation that sits on millions of dollars. We have to raise these dollars every year and then measure that impact and outcomes that are happening in the community. So we're lean, mean, and mighty, as we like to say. But we are very transparent. Obviously, we're a 501c3 as well. So our 990, anyone can look at on GuideStar any day of the week. So we are very transparent in those dollars and what we do.
So having said that, so whatever monies that we have, riverboat monies that we would send over to you, are we guaranteed that that exact amount of dollars will get put out to the non-for-profits, or is it just go in a big pool and they get what they get?
Well, and that's the other question, Kenny, I think too, depending on if it goes towards the campaign or if it's considered more of a grant to us. If it's grant dollars, then it would be its own entity and we would have to advertise it that way. If it goes into the campaign, then it could impact 16 different agencies if they decide to do that. So I think it depends on really what the goal of the council would be for that. Yep. We do have one new agency coming on in 2026 with a letter of intent, because obviously we still have to reach goal in the fall, and that would be the ARC Men's Recovery House. So they are also coming on board.
Could we, so my thinking right now would be for you to come back after you sat with the board and figured out what your logistics would be on your side.
Well, I'm asking what you guys are asking us to do too, to some degree.
Honestly, our intent from my perspective is that, we've supported the non-for-profits that have come to us, and I'd like to see us continue to do that till we're, obviously, if the money from the riverboat runs out, then it's gonna run out.
Right.
But I wanna make sure nonprofits that are coming to us that we've had for years, that they continue to get support as long as they're able to. So,
Other than the ones that are probably not the 501c3s, maybe, I think actually those would all be receiving funding, and knowing that there's money coming in, if there's more dollars, they could receive more funding. So, I mean, I think that's kind of fair to say across the board for that, from that perspective. But it just kind of depends on what direction you guys want us to really take and what we need to present to our board. And I'm open to both options, and I think Blair would be too, from that
just would
perspective.
like to see, you know, when the money goes to you guys, how that, if it goes into a big pot and it gets paid out, I'm okay if that loans are being considered.
I mean, Catch a Ride, Champions of Youth, Advocates for Children, a lot of those places that you already support are already receiving funding, and,
6 of them on that list, we already.
yeah. And I think, you know, that funding becomes critical to them. We never know when we do campaign where those dollars are gonna fall.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know, our goal this year is $595,000. So, you know, we've been very successful the last couple years and reached a little over that $6,000 mark. So, I mean, our goal this year would be also to do that. You know, the board would love to see Blair get to $1 million someday, which
They've
is.
been telling me that.
Yes, so it's a target, but, you know, we also have to have the dollars to support the efforts that we're doing too. So, and every dollar counts with us, and as with council dollars, it would definitely benefit the community.
And I've learned so far that none of what we have coming in is promised every year, so we always have to go out. So, I mean, I know this would help. For sure.
Well, we're kind of the same way. We don't know year to year what our riverboat money's gonna be, and we've just basically split it up and tried to support all those that had requested.
And we're happy to have a board meeting with the board and maybe have one or two council members come in and kind of share some thoughts on that as well and kind of direct us in that regard. We're open to see what that conversation looks like.
I think we should pursue it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that'd be a good way to go if you could get a couple of council members,
Okay?
educate them, and then they could be firsthand folks.
Even
that
with
could-
our executive committee would be good
Yeah.
too. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. How soon do we want to move on that? I have 12 days.
Yeah.
But no, we're happy to
can
get
take
something on the
care of it.
calendar. I know Blair's very capable, but yeah.
It's no big deal.
It is something I'm very excited about. I know it's something, like I said, Rick and I have touched base on several times over the years, and I do know it gets hard to kind of vet and go through that process each year. And I think, you know, with our assistance, we could really help you guys with that too, and be the good stewards.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna set up a time. I'm fared out, so I'm not going to any more meetings. So, if a couple of you wanna go, 2 or 3 of you,
I got vacation coming up next week.
okay? Or she on vacation.
Ricky and Kenny wanna,
Kenny, you wanna
I
go?
can go if nobody else wants to.
Yeah, I can
Ash, you
set it
wanna
up.
go too?
Go ahead.
Just set in on just to see what we're talking about.
I appreciate that.
Thanks, guys.
I'm sure it is.
Set up a time with them too, and
Okay?
Absolutely.
I'd like to get it done before
Thank you.
budget time, which is an all.
yeah. We got budget coming up.
And that'll give us an idea in the fall if we're going to have any extra dollars to go towards that campaign as well.
Yeah.
So that would be good. We'll follow up with both of you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Thank you.
okay. Move on here to topics. We have to sign a contract with Ruben. Did everybody get a copy of that emailed to them? Did
I
you?
got a copy on email.
Yeah,
You did?
I did.
Yep.
So I reached out to Ruben. It is law to upload any financial consultant contracts onto Gateway, so it's made public. And we have just been renewing his just verbally over the past several years. So that's why he got us a new one, so I can get that uploaded.
This was legislative this time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Oh, it was.
Has to
It's gotta
be.
In writing.
Pardon?
It's gotta be in writing.
Yeah.
This contract just runs through January 31st, if I remember right, something like that.
Runs through
It's on there somewhere.
27th, I think. 27?
Yeah, like January,
Yep,
January 31st. Yeah, 2027.
January 31st of 2027.
Need that motion.
Need a motion to approve the contract with
I'll make
Ruben.
that motion.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second the motion.
Rick seconds. Any other questions, discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Transfers. Looks like we got two from the sheriff, from a deputy to training and longevity to telephone. Any questions on those?
I have a question on training, just because I'm nosy, but it looked like when you had the road closed there, off of Base Road, that there were other county vehicles. Maybe I saw a Ripley or a Dearborn County. Do you share that, or is there a cost to the other entities that come in here? Or that's just a shared kind of a situation?
There's no cost to us on that.
Does it keep the road closed longer than normal when that, it seemed like it was closed longer this time than it had been.
Yeah, it's typically 1 week.
Well, that one week sure seemed like a
It
longer
did seem
one week
longer
than
than
that.
that. I don't know if they just didn't get out there and pick stuff up or what the deal was. Seemed like it too.
Appreciate the invite that we could have rode along. I think I read in an email that would have been exciting.
You could have not driven it.
That's why I didn't go.
Yeah.
Well, it's good that it gets utilized and partnerships and all that are good. I just saw that out there. I didn't know.
Again, it's a mandatory training for us every
Yeah.
year. So we have to go to the academy, do it here. Unless the state doesn't make it.
Any other question on transfers? Kenny makes a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ashley seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Additionals, we got two of those. Well, which one you got in front of you? ARPA. Oh, we got a few more than that, don't we?
Yeah, there's 4.
I think this ARPA here, is this the, for the radios, 65,000?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
there's a portion of it, I think that was
Didn't we approve him, just didn't get to,
do what?
did we approve this and it was just a preliminary here? Isn't it?
Yes, I believe so. We didn't have time in between the ARPA meeting and, May's council meeting to advertise.
Advertised, so, okay. I'll entertain a motion to approve again then.
I so move.
Bill makes a motion,
I'll second.
Ashley seconds. Any other questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Statewide and countywide 911. 15,000 from one, 125,000 from the other one. I believe we kind of approved them too, didn't we? If you, is this new one or is this, is this just the paperwork on it? Because I thought it was. Okay.
That was last year, and the money that was used last year, so we had to re-advertise it again this year, get it back in.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Kenny makes a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Anna seconds. Any other discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, public safety, This is for 911 interlocal agreement with the city of Greensburg.
So it
There
was
are two of them?
missed. Yes, 911 and IT. It was missed in the public safety budget to budget our portion of that. Of those
Okay.
two.
This is to go to 911 here. $175,232. I think we put it in our budget, didn't we?
We missed it last year for 2026 budget.
Okay.
We missed putting it in there.
So this is an additional out of public safety to cover what we should have covered
Yes.
this year. Okay.
It's
Yeah.
half of their budget. So
But together
county's
it's-
50% and city's 50%. And we missed putting our half in there.
So together, it's over $300,000.
Yeah. Because I think we've been taking.
Actually, it's just public safety's portion. The other portion comes out of,
So I'll entertain a motion to approve $175,232 from public safety for 911 interlocal agreement with the city of Greensburg.
I'll make that motion.
Bill makes a motion.
I'll second.
Ashley seconds. Any other questions, concerns? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, let's do it again. Well, this is 127,657. Public safety portion for IT interlocal agreement with the city of Greensburg. Coming out of public safety again.
I'll make that motion.
Deanna makes a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Ashley seconds. Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
okay, thank you.
This is question, Christie, but when you say that it's missed, is it missed just in our local accounting, or is it missed completely where what you send to the state for approval?
Well, both, because the day that we sit down and go over the budgets and we move everything from, when you guys, how you do it is you have the sheriff's department put everything in the sheriff and detention center, and then you move out of there into public safety and special purpose. It was just not, it was missed then, when we moved everything to the public safety.
We moved it, and they didn't get it moved on the budget.
Okay.
So just during that day, we just looked over it. We missed it there, which means then it was not sent to state either, because we only send what you guys approved that day. The cash is there, the money is there. It was just overlooked on the appropriating it.
I guess that's my point, I suppose, that it's all been vetted, it's all there, it's everything,
Yes,
just in the wrong bucket.
correct.
Okay, budget schedule dates. Workshop meeting will be Tuesday, August 18th, following the council meeting. Is that all right with everybody? Public hearing will be Tuesday the 17th, September 15th. Adoption Monday. Auditors have to go to conference. They want to have our meeting the Monday after the commissioners' meeting, October the 19th, so we can have our meeting then. Then they have to go to a conference. Where are you going, to French Lick?
French Lick. So they, for some reason this year, they've moved it up a day, our conferences. Our spring was moved up a day and our fall is. So instead of leaving on Tuesday afternoon like we've done in the past, it's Monday afternoon.
Okay, and then, Monday the 17th, you want to have our little workshop with all the department heads and elected officials. Gonna start about noon.
Yeah.
Is that okay? 10 minutes? Let's go with 10 minutes this year instead of 15. You only get 10, Sheriff, okay? Try to hold her down to 2.5.
Talk.
I think we can get them all in by 4 o'clock then.
I thought we did 10 last year, did we not?
We did
Yeah,
okay
I think we
last year.
did.
17th, start about noon.
So August 17th, 12 to 4 is what I got in my calendar. That's
Yep.
right.
About right.
And then the 18th, we got a budget workshop
That's an all-day
right
deal.
after the council
Yeah.
meeting.
Almost like it.
And then we're moving, then public hearing is the 15th.
9:15.
And we've got a council meeting, I've got my calendar on the 22nd. Is that going to be moved up to the 15th to include the
It'll
public
be up-
hearing?
Gonna be, the public hearing will be on Sep,
So your September meeting is the 15th, it's just run on the schedule.
Schedule.
So when you guys approve all this, we'll send out an updated regular schedule, and then, so the meeting is the 15th.
Not the 22nd in September. I got you. And then we're going to have the adoption on October 19th, and then our council meeting will be on the 19th as well. So we're moving 2 council meetings to add my calendar to other dates. If I don't show up, call me.
Yeah.
they'll remind you.
I panicked yesterday afternoon. I'm like, oh, which meeting was it that was changed? October.
Okay. That covers our portion. Anybody have anything? Brian, you got anything for us?
Yeah, I was just checking, well, it was tax abatement, for you, you guys approved the CFO each year, or is it, I know that's how the city does it. CFO being reporting on tax abatement, the county has one for Delta and Dipro. Are they just automatically
I'm not sure on
I'm
that.
not
Is that
sure.
something
I
you
know-
guys don't?
It's based on how long the abatement was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was, but you guys don't review it each year?
no.
I know, I don't think we do.
That's how the city does
'Cause-
it. We're working on the city, new, some updating guidelines for the tax abatement on the city, on how to, and Dan, we talked about that, the evaluation, of the process for projects in the county. So they did, sort of process. With SEA one, we're kind of redoing that.
I think we need some kind of template myself to go over and to look to see what the qualifications are for a abatement, and things like that.
Kind of keep everything fair, and that also helps them too, because when they're looking at, applying for incentives, they take a look at that and see how. I was talking to the commissioners yesterday, got back from a conference, and, some of the main points of it, one, because of the volatility in the economy, political and U.S. economy, speed to market,
Thanks, Brian. Well, I missed something, I guess, salary ordinance, wasn't on my list. Okay, Health Department, anybody get copies of these?
I never seen them.
Okay. Health Department, Population Health Manager. Is this a move up in salaries, or what are we doing here?
I believe they renamed, they gave somebody a new position, and that's what they're changing it
Is
to.
that in our, is it in our
Was that the-
ordinance, or whatever you want to put it? I mean, is it job descriptions, or we got all that covered? I mean, we're going to Population Health Manager.
Says that's somebody from the health department out there.
That's what I was thinking, it'd be nice if they came in,
Huh?
it'd be nice if they came in and talked to us.
Be nice, yeah. I mean, I can look at them, I don't know if it's changing salaries or not, but I think she's going from non-exempt to exempt. Court services is, then we got court services going up in wages.
No, shouldn't be. I apologize, I didn't look over this ahead of time. See what she has.
Animal control, we have a salary change on that. Parks Department, you hired a recreation sports guy. You done good there. You done good there, thank you.
I'm gonna hold off on the court service. Look into that better.
I kinda wanna hold off on the health
Health
Health,
too.
too.
till we get some, answers. What's going on there?
Right.
Okay, we got one here, got two of them here to approve. Animal control went up to, from his salary up. I'll entertain a motion to approve both these, the health department and the court services. I want to hold off on.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Deanna makes a motion to approve animal control in the park.
Second.
Ashley second.
The evil eye, but he
know,
didn't
he's-
pick up on it.
I'm trying to get everybody trained. I'm working on getting you trained.
I was following the leader.
I know.
We had a really successful 2026 Women in Business Conference. We hosted about 230 people here in the community. We supported over 31 different small businesses and organizations through our vendors. So that was super successful. We even had a vendor at lunch have to go home and restock her booth because she had done so well in the first half of the day. So that was extremely exciting to see. Super phenomenal speakers again this year. So again, just another really great event put on that encompassed, again, 230 attendees and well over probably, I'd say about 65 to 70 different organizations represented throughout the day. So that was really great. It was a great day, Dawn. Thank you, thank you. We do have Leaders and Loggers coming up this afternoon. So from 4 to 6 p.m. we'll be at the TAP. That is our after hours networking event that is open to the public. So we encourage people to join us. Here a little bit, we've got Jackman's Animal Clinic from Milroy coming in this afternoon. They've got a new employee coming on staff that they're going to introduce to us and talk a little bit about some of the changes they've seen up there at their facility. So that will be super beneficial. It's just a great time to, connect with people in a different way as well. So please utilize that time that we're providing there to just make some networking advancements for yourself or for your organization. We'd love to have you join us for that. And then I do have with me today our two interns. I've got Annika Struing and Addie Galk. Annika is with us full-time through the summer. They'll be here with us through August 14th. And then Addie is working kind of like a part-time plus for us through the summer. So they've been phenomenal so far. So if you see them out and about, they're with the chamber and happy to serve your organization. So any questions for me?
Keep up the good work.
Perfect. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay. Anybody else have anything for us? Doug, give us a lowdown.
Brian was just in the back of the room eating his bologna sandwich.
Yeah.
If you were at yesterday's meeting, you'll get the joke. Just want to give an update on the comprehensive plan. So we had a meeting on June 4th. Now the next step is the rough draft. Once we get the rough draft, then we'll review it and then meet again, review it with the steering committee, and then send that rough draft into Okra since they're providing us with the funds, part of the funds for that plan. So that's where we're at with that. And then, like Brian was saying on the blight, the decision for those funds, the ARPA funds right now that we're using for the blight, we cannot use it in the incorporated towns of the county. So I felt like this was an opportunity to use some funds because the incorporated towns have ordinances in place for nuisance and blight, but they just don't have the funds to rectify the situation. So that was the reason for targeting the incorporated towns with those funds. So that's all I got.
Any questions for Doug?
Nope.
Comp plan's coming together, so be good. Chris, you got anything?
Give us a,
Can you get us an update to next meeting on how good the sports complex and stuff's doing? I mean,
and the pool getting
things.
2 or 3 weeks.
Give some numbers, and I got your email, or got your text and things, and talked to you, and I told everybody what you was wanting to do, but a lot of them said, well, what's it bringing in? How good's it doing? Does that make sense?
Yep, next meeting I'll have it for you guys.
Okay, appreciate it. Anybody else have anything for us? Entertain a motion to adjourn then.
So moved.
Kenny,
Second.
Bill seconds it. All those in favor?
He's not here to do it.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody to make it. All right.